Hello everyone, my name is Charalampopoulos and thank you for watching my presentation. Today I'm going to talk about a really interesting research article that is called Online and Offline Recruitment of Young Women for a Longitudinal Health Survey. It was written by Loxton and her colleagues, and I choose this article because it is a really clear example of how communication strategies can help researchers reach the right people for a study, and how social media especially can help in the creation of bigger samples for the service. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the article. The article, the main reason that the article was created in order is to assess the effectiveness of new ways in comparison to traditional ways that were most expensive, and a lot of women, they didn't even take the mails or the leaflets and participate in this service. So the women that were decided to be in the survey was young women between 1989 and 1995, who were about the age of 18 to 23 year old. So it was really important to test new recruitment strategies, both online and offline. That's why they said that they had a mixed method model that they used, and the recruitment lasted from 2012 to 2013, and it was 9 months. So the online methods that they used was, first of all, Facebook advertisement. There was other social media and websites like post banners and links on various platforms, word of mouth. For example, they wanted encouraging young women to share the study with friends, and a partnership with a fashion company that first, for sure, it helped because it was a fashion company and they were young women that maybe they find it that attractive. Also, they used offline methods like traditional media, like radio announcements, newspapers, the news, posters in public places, and some community activities, but it was limited. And it's really important to say that they monitor every week the new women that were in the study in order after that to do some demographics to see where they're from, to see their age, to see their socioeconomic status, and adjust correctly through Facebook advertisements to target some groups that they may be unrepresented. And for sure there were some teams that they were unrepresented. The initial number of the people that we have was 54,000 women, but after some eligibility criteria and exclusions, we have the final survey, the final sample that was 70,000 women that joined the study. Most participants they joined through Facebook advertisements, and it was around the 70%. Around 30% came through the fashion company that we have already mentioned. Around 7% was through friends, aka the word of mouth, and the rest came from other websites or traditional media. And we can see exactly why digital communication ways can help to the increase of the sample size. The number shows that Facebook was extremely effective. It is cheap, it is fast, and they has a really large audience, especially 2012. So we can see that the researchers also notice some differences between women who joined the study and the general population. First of all, most of the women that joined the study, especially from Facebook, were women that they have a higher education, they lived in cities like Melbourne or Sydney, and their age. For example, the women that they were recruited by the company, they had skewed age more to 23 and not really young women like 18 and 19. And of course, this means that online recruitment, even if we can say that it's successful, it can cause some bias that we should take into consideration and it does not reach every possible group equally. Okay, it helps about the representativeness, but there are so many ways to improve that. First of all, we need to talk about the strengths and the limitations. They say that there was a multi-channel approach. The researchers did not rely only on a single method. This can help in order to find more people. They used social media, as we said, they used the fashionable brand and everything like that. They used the quickly monitoring this form, in my opinion, as potential data scientist. It's really important to find people and understand where our purpose needs to go. And in my opinion, the fashion company was really a creative partnership, because they can see some person, they can the survey can be modern, friendly, and connected to young women interest. Of course, in my opinion, generally there are limitations of the recruitment strategies. The biggest limitation maybe is the bias that caused by Facebook. Most of the women there, they were well educated. So the problem is that women that are from rural areas, or women that they are not so educated, they can easily excluded, and these can be unrepresentative for the general population. Of course, now there are limitations, and I hope they have changed some of the, and we will say in the recommendation section that Facebook is not so popular now. There are other ways to find new people. Also, there was digital bias. Women who joined the study were most, as I said, well educated. People that they are not use so much internet, online platforms, they can be really excluded from the study. And another limitation is the traditional media that was used, but not strongly enough to balance, in my opinion, the digital bias. And also there was a self-selection bias, because women were voluntarily wanted to join to the survey, so maybe they represent a health part of the population and not the whole population of women, of this group of women in Australia. So there are, of course, recommendations how to improve the recruitment. In my opinion, we live in 2025, and there are more modern platforms like TikTok, like Instagram, even LinkedIn, and the researchers can create, for example, reels that can catch the attention of the young women, and I don't know, maybe even a challenge that can help attract a wider audience. Also, instead of possible a fashion company, they can they can work with influencers, people that they are highly trusted in their communities, the people that they follow. And in my opinion, it's really important to have a diversity. We don't need, for example, to have a specific category in our videos. We need to have a diversity. We need to have people that are from different cultures. We need to have people that they come from different socioeconomic groups. We need to have, we cannot of course diverse about the age, but we need of course to diverse about the appearance, for example. And maybe for rural areas that there are a lot of women that they don't use online ways, we can have people in local events that they can go to these women and explain why they need to be in the survey. And also maybe an app is really important way to help the easy approach. It's an easy approach and help the women to do and participate in the survey really quick. So to finish, the article shows that online recruitment can be extremely powerful, especially for young people. But it also reminds there are limitations and there are also ways to improve. So in my opinion, by combining digital tools with strong partnerships and maybe a cultural sensitive communication, we say that about diversity, researchers can build more inclusive studies and make sure that everybody's voice is represented. And this is the end of my presentation.